What's up, everybody? So we've got a bunch of interesting news to get to today, so let's jump right into it. And we're starting with the potential resurrection of arguably PlayStation's worst idea ever, Concord. This sci-fi hero shooter developed by Firewalk Studios and released just a few months ago was a commercial flop and shut down within 2 weeks. And according to Google, that's some kind of record.
That was fucking brutal. Yeah, that was brutal.
But despite its short-lived existence, rumors are swirling that PlayStation might be bringing it back. Stay tuned as we dig into the details and what this could mean for the gaming community. Next, we'll discuss a surprising move from the EU and a twist they've decided not to clamp down on modding.
What a pleasant surprise!
The decision goes against what many expected, as the argument often leans against the gamer. But hey, a win's a win in our book, right? Finally, we'll cover the growing unrest at Ubisoft. Milan has joined the likes of France and other Ubisoft locations in striking against the return to office, or RTO, mandate. It's a bold move, and some say they might strike themselves out of a job. We'll break down the implications of what it means for the future of Ubisoft. And that's what we're talking about today, with a little more sprinkled throughout, and I'm joined by the brightest minds on YouTube to give their expert analysis. Welcome to the Casual Consumer live stream. All right, yay! It got a little cold, so I put on a hoodie.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's freezing here. It's like let's see.
I want to see what your definition of freezing is.
58 here. 58 here in Texas. I've seen people like light their fireplaces and put on hoodies.
Oh,
and
dude.
I'm over here going, it's still hot.
Isn't that smell the greatest when people have like those a fireplace or whatever and they burn away?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, on a super cold day. It's so amazing.
I'm actually excited because the house we're buying actually has a wood burning fireplace.
Right.
I'm pretty stoked.
Dude,
I'm like,
that's
yeah.
like the best. I've
Yes.
like, so a lot of the people I deliver to, interesting lives, a lot of them. But he was telling me about a couple cabins up in this area that you can go to, and one, it looks like it was renovated out of a Outlook tower, and they just kind of made it into a B&B. And you're
That's
like
awesome.
sitting up there at the top of the trees, just looking out. Dude, I want to do that, but I'm not a big fan of heights. However, I might do that. He did tell another story talking about bears too, caught in the area. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember living in Alaska and the trauma of moose.
Oh yeah.
They're huge. They're huge. And,
Mhm.
it would be dark most of the time up there,
Oh,
like in the
jeez.
winter. And because I was in Anchorage, so you get a little bit of daylight, during the winter or a little bit of dark in the summer. And I remember driving through one time and I'm like, what are these shadows? And like I'm getting closer, I slow down, because it's nothing but like ice that you're driving on, right? And I slow down a little bit and I had to look. I'm in a Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I had to look up at this moose that was next to my
Yeah.
my Jeep. And I was like, holy crap, right?
Oh yeah.
And-
Probably
I
going to the
saw-
side of the road to lick off the salt, I bet.
Yeah, I saw a moose take out an 18-wheeler and get up and run away.
That's crazy.
And I was like,
Coward.
It
yeah,
probably didn't
that-
make it that far, though. I mean,
yeah, well, I don't care if it made it that far. It totaled this 18-wheeler
Oh yeah.
and then got up and ran away.
To be fair, though,
you're
an
a
elk will
boss.
do that too. And
Yes. Well, when I moved to Colorado, like there was a. Now, after being around moose, deer look like baby puppies, right? It didn't matter. This deer was like running, and I'm like up against my window, like freaking out, like afraid that it was gonna get me because the moose had traumatized me so bad.
Oh yeah.
mhm.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, life is over.
Mhm.
Oh, my light went out.
Freaking so new things tried this week. I tried some Coca-Cola Oreos. Those were okay. Those were okay. They weren't.
They're a thing?
Yeah.
Yep.
What I loved about them though, they smelled so much better than they tasted. Like they smelled like
Wow.
cherry vanilla Coke. It was so good.
Vanilla Coke is good.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Cherry vanilla Coke is good.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. There's so many things. Like
Mhm.
I appreciate Coke. I appreciate how you can mix it with so many things, and
And it
it
works.
actually tastes good.
Yeah.
You can mix Coke with lime, vanilla,
Mhm.
cherry.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you
So
one
many
thing: don't
whiskey.
Whiskey.
ever get vanilla Coke and mix it with vanilla vodka. because that's too sweet and bad things will happen.
But what if I, but
And
Gigi,
that's
what if I
learned
want,
in the army.
what if I want alcohol poisoning?
See, the thing is,
Like,
right,
that seems like a
Girl.
terrible way. Like you will have no. It's just like drinking schnapps. You just don't even realize it.
I think this is where like I get a little bit envious because you guys get the best flavors early. We get it decades later.
Yeah,
so this
but-
Oreo Coke thing, we'll probably get it in what 2030.
You guys got like.
It's okay, bro. I can send a care package.
That too, yeah.
Could
yeah.
have to.
You guys have flake bars. It's okay. It's a wash.
That sounds like it would be wafers for us. Is that what those are?
No,
Flake,
I've
well,
had
the
these.
ice cream flake.
no, the Cadbury flake, the little purple and yellow packaging.
Yes, yeah, we have it with ice cream typically. So we have like ice cream. put it in.
Oh,
Yeah.
See,
I mean, I
that's a good
don't.
idea.
I'm saying we as a, us Brits. That's what we
Oh,
typically do.
that's fine.
I-
On this show, you speak for all Brits.
I do.
You do, yeah.
I'll probably get told off by them afterwards.
Oh my
That's not right,
gosh.
Scotty.
That does
You
look pretty
liar.
good.
They're
Cadbury.
messy
Yeah.
though. Like
They're
you take a bite
messy.
of it and the whole thing just collapses. It's got no
Yeah,
structural
exactly. It
integrity
does.
at all.
Yeah, it does. It actually does.
That's hilarious. That does
The
look
architecture is
tasty.
shocking.
Here. Yeah, it's the same company, Cadbury Eggs. They do the same. All right.
Oh yeah, but Cadbury eggs are. Oh man.
I like the ones with the caramel in them. Anything with
The
caramel.
caramel ones are good. I'm
The-
not big on the original ones.
Yeah. I just
I
had
remember
some,
the first
some
time
turtles
having-
not too long ago. Go ahead.
I
sorry.
remember the first time having an OG like Cadbury cream egg and thought this is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It is so freaking sweet.
Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
a little while later, I'm like, I think I'm done. I'm done with these.
You ate yourself out of it. Sometimes
Yeah,
that
the mini
happens.
eggs though, the mini eggs I could eat until I die.
Yeah.
The mini eggs are just
Let's,
It's because it's not got the overwhelming sweet filling in
Yeah.
it.
let's hope
Mhm.
after, the nuclear winter and the zombie apocalypse, those are still standing tall. The Cadbury,
Mhm.
so we can have a bunch of Cadbury eggs.
Well,
The mini
like,
ones.
What's his name in
Be like-
Zombie Land looking for the
The
Twinkies?
Twinkies.
No, it'd be like Fallout. It's nothing but fancy lad snack cakes and Nuka-Cola.
Don't get me started on those fancy lad snack cakes. I get so mad.
Right.
I'm like,
on.
why do I have 4,000 of these?
Because you're a digital pack rat, just like I am when I'm playing a game. Like when I'm playing Skyrim, like why do I have 40 wheels of cheese? Hang on, Mr. Dragon. I'm a little hungry right now. We'll fight in a second. I just have to have a feast on cheese.
On
Please.
cheese. It's kind of like with Starfield when they were filling up that entire bunker with potatoes. You remember that?
What?
Yeah.
That would be me. That would be me. I'd be like, mashed potatoes are life. I
Oh
need
yeah.
these taters.
Oh my gosh.
That's just the
Roasted up.
hallmark of Bethesda games. So they're all kind of known for it.
That's hilarious. Oh, new movie. We went and saw The Wild Robot, which was super good. My son absolutely loved it. My eldest girl, she loved it because she sat through it. My youngest girl, she was up and about like the whole time, just playing in her chair. And my son, obviously, he was fussy, so I missed a little bit of the movie, but the kids said that they absolutely loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was the movie called?
Wild Robot.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, I've never heard
It's really good. It's a story about humanity basically, and becoming in the struggles of a mother, being a mother, and it was really good. I wasn't choking back tears. I just let them go. My kids were looking up at me, and I'm just like, just looking away. It's
I
like,
that.
I
Who
don't
gets
even
that?
not
care.
right now.
Who gets that?
I
Who
cry.
gets that?
I cry at everything, and my son is so sweet. He'll come up and he'll be like, "Let me hold you. Let me hold you." And like at 15, he still does it. It's so sweet.
Yeah.
You know?
Right on.
But a lot of times he's crying with me now. So
Yeah,
I'm like, real men cry. It's okay. And like, he's
It
like,
happens.
He's like,
Oh, yeah.
it's okay, it's just a commercial, Mom. And I'm like, oh, it's like,
In the arms of an angel.
You know what? Some commercials are really good, like shorts. Like they're very good short films.
Yeah.
yeah.
Never a car commercial though. Those are all stupid.
Right. Oh yeah. Well,
That's
shoot, man.
hilarious.
I'm glad I've got you guys here today because I know that you're gonna give me some really thoughtful, thought-provoking commentary on what we're gonna talk about today. First,
no
on the
pressure
list-
there.
I know, right? First on
And
the list.
today's the Saturday we all bomb.
Today's the Saturday we all what?
Bomb.
Oh yeah. If we do, it's fine. It's casual, you know.
As long as it's entertaining.
I'm wearing a hoodie. That too.
I'm wearing a t-shirt, guys. It's hot.
Oh,
58 is
yeah.
still hot.
It's probably.
PSA to all you Southerners.
I don't even know.
58 is still hot.
Oh, it's 34 degrees here. So
Thir-
fast. I'm
34
coming.
Chilly.
freedom degrees or 34
Freedom
everywhere
degrees.
else in the world degrees.
Freedom.
Okay,
So-
listen.
Oh wow, it is cold there.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
Whoa, what 34 is cold? Well, what's Celsius?
34 is like 1
Yeah.
Celsius.
Whoa, that's cold.
That's crazy.
I mean,
love
it's
the differences.
18 degrees Celsius here.
Oh shoot. Oh, right on.
Yeah, so it's actually quite warm. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's
Wow,
12.
where are you, Fox?
What
Where's-
is it? What is it? How many degrees Canadian is it there?
Oh, you
Where
guys are-
it's
Oh, yeah.
11 Celsius,
11
which would be
Canadian?
like
50?
50 something
Mm-hmm.
in freedom units.
Freedom units.
How'd you?
We're
how'd
gonna
you
call
work that
them
out,
freedom
Fox?
units and Canadian units.
How'd you work
I
that
don't-
out?
Certain landmarks. It just because the actual math to convert between Celsius and Fahrenheit is stupid. It's not like a
is
direct.
stupid.
It's not something you can. So I just know like 32 Fahrenheit, 0 Celsius, and I know
And I just want to let you
68
know, Scotty, it's 14 degrees Celsius here.
Oh, okay.
68
Oh,
Fahrenheit is 18 Celsius. So
Okay.
if you just kind of like have those in mind, you can figure out
Right.
relatively where the scale is.
All right then.
that
Because
makes
doing the math is in your head is not. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time
Yeah,
for
sense.
that. Right on.
I mean, if you can, all the power to you. But I don't.
I know it's a bit long.
Right on. So we're going to start out with the FTC commission. They announced the click to cancel rule, which I think is absolutely fantastic. What I wanted to do is go into some of the details. I mean, it's pretty simple, but when it's going to be initiated and things like that. This is coming from. You guys got to see this name. Hold on. Drew Angerer. I love that.
Yes.
From
I'm
Death.
officially changing my last name.
That is an
Angerer.
awesome name.
Yeah.
That is such a middle name.
It is a metal name, isn't it?
He's Angerer than the last Drew that we talked about. Apparently.
I'm gonna make another channel, Gamer Geek Angerer.
That's hilarious. But this is the Federal Trade Chair, Lena Khan, and this is the same woman that went over after Microsoft for the Blizzard acquisition, the Activision acquisition,
Get it, girl.
which she continued to try even after it went through. I think she's given up
Yeah.
now. But this is me personally. I think this is where they should be diverting their attention to things like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I think we're a year into the acquisition from Microsoft, and don't really see any big changes in the industry. Everyone's still making mediocre games at this point in time. The Federal Trade
not-
Commission. Yes. No, go
Sorry,
ahead.
I was going
Go
to say
ahead.
regarding all that, I'm not thrilled by the fact that they took away the latest Call of Duty from the free trial that you can get with Game Pass. That's kind of underhanded.
Yes. Yeah.
They took it away.
Yeah, so if you get like the 14-day free trial
Yeah.
or something like that for Game Pass, there's a free trial of some length or whatever. You can't play certain games, the ones they want to sell, which is really kind of undercuts Game Pass
Yeah.
and why the hell I would ever want to buy it.
Well, and so
Or even just
that's that give and take that they have. If they have it on Game Pass, it's going to eat into their physical sales. And if they have it on the physical, if they don't put it on Game Pass, then Game Pass loses that you know.
Oh
Yeah.
my
So it's
God.
a
Why do
delicate
this to
balance
us?
they've got to play with. It's.
I know,
Well,
but
I mean, they
at
set
what
themselves
cost
up for
though?
that.
Exactly. Eventually, they're gonna have to go one way or the other. I think, like go headlong.
maybe.
Yeah.
The day one releases is what set them up for failure, you know, and then they'll like put things on there for a little bit and then take them away and hope that they'll get sales, and all they do is make everybody mad. I mean, it's just
Yeah. And then
I don't care for that.
there was an article that came out, and I want to say it was the FTC again, where they said that you have to, I think it was the FTC. Anyone in chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but they were talking about how you have to make it known that you're only licensing this game out. You don't own it. You have to.
No, that was in California, I believe.
Okay.
That was California specific.
Right on. We should definitely make that or how about don't let us know. Make it so that if we pay for it, we own it. Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like
yeah.
the.
I don't feel like you should be asked to pay a full game fee for something that you don't own.
That you're just
Something that I'm only
licensing.
licensing.
Yeah.
Give me an expiry date. Let me know when the earliest possible date that this game can expire or go bad, like
Yeah.
milk in the
Exactly.
fridge.
And unfortunately, there's still so many people that don't realize that digital is licensed and it can disappear at any time.
Yeah.
And
It's not right.
that's unfortunate to me. I've been trying to like put an article on my website about it, but I'm like, this sounds just too mean so far because it makes me spicy.
I think they could use that language. Know, they need to be chastised at this point because they're
do.
stealing from people. You're
They
stealing.
are. They are. Absolutely.
If anybody thinks that this is just alarmist talking, like, oh, it's not going to happen, it already has.
Yeah.
It already has.
Oh yeah.
Many times.
We have many
Concord,
examples
such
of
as
it,
it
yeah.
was taken out of people's libraries.
Yep.
They were refunded. And then there's also Ubisoft game, The Crew.
Yes, I remember articles about that.
It's
Yeah.
taken offline. You can't play it anymore.
Well, wasn't which shows was it that just went away? It was with what was it, Crunchyroll or
Well, there was Willow on Disney.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Funimation?
Willow.
yeah, Funimation maybe.
Yeah, Funimation. Yeah.
Where it
You
where
didn't
they-
keep your
they
library.
partnered and you didn't keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
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 That's
And
I know. Hold on.
Mhm.
and then like I think Discovery, something with Discovery.
Yeah.
maybe, but-
It's been
but
rampant.
there's-
It's too many
there's been a bunch of
examples.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Wow.
It's just gonna force people to sail the high seas.
Unless
If
they
you
do
know
things
what I
like
mean.
this. Like this article is probably a good starting point. I
Maybe
guess.
we need to be making an appeal to the FTC or the CMA over in the UK.
Yeah.
To really crack down on things like this. Take a look at it. Like seriously, look at it.
Well,
It just-
EU is more likely to do something about it first.
Apparently,
Because the protections over
Frickin'
there
A.
are way better than ours.
yeah, they
just-
are. Yeah, they really are.
bothers me how long it takes for stuff like this to become law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Um.
these practices have been going on for how long?
Mm-hmm.
I think I read it in another article about the same subject. This is updating a law that's already existed since like 1973.
It's the because what we
A
started
lot older
going
than me?
digital.
Wow.
Well, like the early 2010s, things really started ramping up, going like fully digital, like over the airwaves or over the internet patches and things like that. It's like that just started happening like 2010. It's about what, 20 years ago.
And not only that, I mean, because of how long it takes for these laws to be in place and so on and so forth, it gives these companies that it affects so much more time to work around it.
That too.
So-
Jeez, yeah.
Like you put a wall up, and it takes you forever to put a wall up, and for you to put another extension to that wall, everybody's just scrambling trying to figure out how to go under it, around it, over it, whatever.
The
And by
Mongolians
the
have
time
already
that wall's
invaded by
built,
that time. Yeah.
Everybody's already inside.
Mm-hmm.
Eh,
Right on. Let's read the article real quick. I do have some questions for the panel. The Federal Trade Commission today announced the final click to cancel rule requiring sellers to make it as easy for consumers to cancel their enrollment as it was to sign up. Most provisions will go into effect 180 days after it is published in the Federal Register or from today. I don't know why they needed 230 pages for this, but runs the gamut for streamers to cable TV subscriptions to home shopping networks and gym memberships. And this is a quote from
The gym memberships is the number one.
That's a big one too. Yeah,
'Cause those are like impossible to cancel.
Well, so I find it that I just don't go to the gym and keep the membership. You know, I don't call in and cancel because I know I'm just gonna go back eventually.
At some point.
At some point. But with these subscriptions, it's like you gotta get on the line with someone and they transfer you to someone else, and then let me grab my supervisor. I'm not. It makes it super hard. So this.
And then you give up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, you know what? Forget about it, and then that's it, and then there you go to keep.
And that's exactly
payments.
what they're banking on too. So
Well,
this is a good one. Yeah.
There's also retention offers too.
That too.
I'm thinking of canceling. Oh, hang on. Let me get you over to my quote unquote cancellations department.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Customer, I heard you were thinking of canceling. What if I lower your fee by this for this many months? Would you be interested in staying then? And there's all these pressure tactics to get you to stay, and they keep giving you more and more incentive to.
Yep.
This law, as I understand it, deals with that in part.
Yep. Oh yeah. So here is a quote directly from Mrs. Khan herself. Miss or Mrs. I'm not too sure, but too often businesses make people jump through endless hoops just to cancel a subscription, said Commission Chair Lena Khan. The FTC's rule will end these tricks and traps, saving Americans time and money. Nobody should be stuck paying for a service they no longer want. The FTC said it acted after receiving more than 16,000 comments from the public. Now, moving on to the questions I have for the panel. So, how would the FTC's click to cancel rule impact businesses and their subscription models? And what are the potential benefits and challenges for consumers with the implementation of this new rule?
I think for businesses, it might actually start building more
rapport,
trust and rapport. Yeah, trust and rapport. So, like for me, if I know that it'll be simple to like do this trial and quit, or do this trial and keep it for X amount of time and quit, or put it on pause, or whatever it is that they decide to implement, I'm gonna have more trust in them. I'm gonna be more likely to do business with them. So I think this can actually end up helping businesses as long as they go about it the right way.
Yeah.
For consumers, I feel like it's gonna help them, like if I want to get a subscription to Stars because there's a show that I want to see, then I know that I can do this for 2 weeks and then cancel, and it's not going to be a problem. I'll get that either prorated amount back or whatever. And so I think it will really benefit consumers as far as their willingness to try things.
Okay. Yeah.
And it could even cut down on like pirating. Like people still do that, not as much, but they still do it, and it could really end up benefiting both of them. The negative impacts it could have is that everybody's just going for a trial, quitting, and or
guilty.
I mean, I'm guilty of it too. They go here and there and all that other stuff. So I mean, it really depends. It could go both ways, but I think overall, maybe not right away, but overall, I feel like it's going to build a lot more trust and rapport between companies and consumers.
Okay.
And eventually lead to better business.
Right on. So, all right.
That's just my opinion, but let's get Scotty, and then we'll go to the devil's advocate.
Who? What? Oh, me. That's me. Okay.
I think I was just making notes on it. So I think a business will adapt. Obviously, they always adapt. They'll try another approach, I think, to keep the customer, despite the fact it's an easy click. But I think initially, and this is my opinion, I think businesses may lose money because I know personally some people, it's a tedious task to cancel with some companies because there's so many hoops to go through, and they just keep their membership purely because it's tedious to cancel it.
Right on.
So now if there's an option to just click to cancel, I think a lot more people probably do it because it's much more, we don't need this anymore. Let's just cancel it.
Yeah.
And I think that might have a knock-on effect to business margin. But business typically do adapt, right? So there's probably strategy that loopholes for them to get through this. You know, there's always a way. But I think at least to start off, I think it will definitely benefit the customer just because it's easier to cancel. But yeah, as Gigi said, let's see what happens.
Right on.
Yeah, because just honestly, just the thought of canceling can put people off going through the process. Just thinking, man, I've got to wait on hold. You know, like I to your point, Scotty, I think that companies will adapt probably in multiple ways. Like they'll find different ways that are not outlined in this law to make it difficult to dissuade people from doing it. But I hope that this will make companies work harder to keep a customer's business, because they no longer have it, at least in this way, they no longer have those captive consumers.
Right.
So they'll have to try other ways, other methods of keeping people's business. Now it's easier for them to just walk away.
Right on.
But I'm wondering, because you guys mentioned trials, and I wonder if this is going to change how companies offer free trials to customers.
That would have been a question for you.
Are they are they going to just not do it, or are they going to say you can only have a free trial every so and so months,
right,
or something like that?
Or they might extend that out, like instead of 7-day free trial, it might be a month free trial or something like that.
Some may, you're right. Some may do that, just to kind of get that sense that it's normal, right? Having this product, even though it's a trial for 1 month, is normal to you, so you have a chance to to become comfortable with it and carry it going forward. Then again, I can also see some companies saying, no, we're not going to do a free trial. Or we'll let you do a free trial for this period, and then that's it. Maybe once a year. You can do a free trial.
Oh, right on. Very good. Okay.
But that's the thing. I mean, I'd be concerned. I don't think it's a good idea for companies to do anything in response to this law to antagonize consumers.
You're not going to want to do that.
No. I don't know, because there's so many different companies, and just like people, because corporations are people apparently, they're going to behave different ways.
Right on.
What do you reckon, Fox? What do you think, Fox?
It's so many holes that consumers and companies can fall into. To Knoss's point, they could extend that out to kind of make you feel like you're getting more of a deal, or they could do like for 1 day, you get a day free trial, and then that is for the rest of the year. You either buy it, or your free trial again starts next, this next business cycle or next year or whatever. Limit the amount of times you could start a free trial, because honestly, that is kind of a loophole that we as customers use, which is you've got all your tricks, companies, allow us this one, So, but that could it could change the relationship between consumers and companies. It could, because it was antagonistic for a while, especially with all the hoops you have to jump through. It might kind of rebuild that relationship too, like Gigi was saying, and then it just they could lose money because of this, like you were saying, Scotty. So it just great points all around. Holy crap. I have nothing of substance to add to this.
I feel like if they shorten their trials, they're definitely going to just tick everybody off. I can see them doing like, you can get a trial once every 6 months maybe, or something like that, so that you can still check it out, see if it's changed, see if you like it. Or putting in a clause like you can do this trial as long as you have like 1 month or 2 months or whatever. I can see them doing stuff like that. But
it's in their rights, though. It's in their rights, to be fair.
But I feel like they're gonna try to look at it and be like, well, let's figure out how to not tick them off anymore, because then we'll just lose out on their business 100%.
Oh yeah, especially.
But I don't know. Corporations have a way of definitely just.
There's loopholes.
They've already got. I'm sure some of these companies have teams of people that are already going through the multiple hundred-page decisions, saying, "Find ways around this. Get me over this fence."
100%. Yes.
Probably.
Oh my goodness. No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right on that. Let's move into. That was one of the peripheral ones. Look at that product placement from Scotty.
We got it.
Oh,
There
did you
it
catch
was.
something?
Easter
Did you catch
egg.
something?
I looked away for a second. What was it? Come on.
Take another drink.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Look at that. Get it out.
It makes you feel like you're a bigger fan of
Fox
PlayStation than I am.
is going to start. Yeah.
Hang on a second, Scotty. I really hope that if that's an official PlayStation water bottle, that you didn't do anything to modify it, because Sony doesn't like that.
Shots fired.
Do you have a PSN to go along with that water bottle?
To be fair, Nintendo is probably a bigger. They're probably more offended by that than anyone else, any other studio. Nintendo is just.
Oh, speaking of Nintendo, have we got an update on that guy who went to court?
Google.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that dude.
We have to know what's happening with that.
I don't even think he was set to go to court yet. He's dumb. I'm gonna represent myself.
Yes.
Sorry. I
I
didn't mean
have to
that.
know what's going on there.
Here.
You don't have to. Okay, maybe you don't say he's dumb. You could just say, "I question his intelligence."
Here, let's.
It's perfectly fair.
Yeah,
Because you
and
don't know the guy to be.
Well, I don't know. He probably absorbs, so he might get taken to the cleaners at the court.
I mean, I saw a quote once where it says people tend to favor towards the bold. So,
I mean, I guess it never happens. Like you go in there and talk about you're gonna represent yourself, and the judge is like, I appreciate the tenacity, the gumption.
Yeah.
You know what?
yeah.
You win.
You win. It's so brave for you to come here all by yourself. You know what? I side with you against this multi-billion-dollar company. I'm pretty sure they're multi-billion.
Is it funny though that I'd love to see a version of like Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney where this guy's taking on Nintendo.
You know, oh dude, oh my god,
He's so great.
Yes, it's like
we need to take up like making animation and just making our own stuff.
that would be kind of cool. Like, you know how they have the tennis animes, the basketball animes, the boxing animes. This guy who's just born with an affinity for learning stuff, and he chooses law, and then all of a sudden he's just like in the action sequences would be great.
Have you seen that anime called Solo Leveling? It sounds like that.
Oh, dude, Solo Leveling is amazing. I love that show.
Because he learns things, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's not capped by his how he was, you know, brought into it. So I can't wait till, I want to say, yes, the season 2's next to come out. I can't wait till that comes out. Right now I'm on Shield Hero. So Jay Bug, he mentioned this to me probably months and months ago. And I saw the front of it and I was like, I'm not really feeling it, you know. And here,
Don't judge a book.
Exactly. I gave it a chance. One of my favorite anime of the year. Is freaking crazy.
Yeah, was it Shield Hero?
Yeah, it's so good.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I hope you're watching Bleach, by the way.
I never got into Bleach. I never got into it. Yeah. You want Naruto is the same way because of all the fluff they had, you know. But I went back and watched all of Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, and it was freaking-tastic. One of the best animes, top 3.
Naruto is actually really great.
Yeah.
My son's obsessed.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
I've got like the whole box set up there. I've got an anime section.
Nice.
All the box sets.
My youngest was like, "Hey sis, can I have your Hulu? Because there's something on there I want to watch."
Have you guys watched Dragon Ball Daima?
No, not yet.
I've watched the first episode. They might be out with another episode now, but it's basically GT. It's basically GT. Yeah. So apparently Deborah, Bobbitty's subordinate or whatever.
Oh yeah, I like Deborah.
He was kind of sick, right? And he came from this demon realm, and apparently anyone with pointed ears originates from the demon realm, and that's how they're doing it. And so when Deborah died, I want to say his little brother, kind of reviewed the whole Boo saga, and he was like, "Who are these guys?" He's either his brother or his dad. I can't remember, but he wants to get rid of them because he's afraid that they will come to the demon realm and kill them. So they can't use their own Dragon Balls in the demon realm because they're protected. The Namekian that they have there, he made sure to protect them. So they went to Earth to use their Dragon Balls, but they know they can't use a bad wish. It's fueled by light, so they got to do something where it doesn't, you can't wish them dead or something like that. So he makes them all first graders, and the like Goten and Trunks, he makes them babies again. You know what I mean? So
Oh my goodness.
it's okay. It's okay. It's starting out a
Is it
little
canon?
slow.
Is it canon?
I since Toriyama worked on it, I'm assuming it is. Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
and I think that what they're going to continue on.
Yeah,
like
canon.
revealing
I
stuff.
just googled it. Yeah, you're right. It's canon.
Oh,
Wow.
right on.
That's
Wow.
what?
I know. Yeah. Nas,
Okay.
just spit a lot of stuff out there. Sorry about that.
No, it's cool. I'm trying to follow along.
I checked and there was no update on Nintendo, dude.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I can't
yeah, I had
see
to look
the last
earlier.
one I saw was a week ago, and it's just kind of rehashing. Oh, Switch modder just made the biggest mistake of his life in this Nintendo lawsuit.
Oh, shit.
The only thing I was going to
Finally
say,
settled.
the only thing I was going to
Sorry,
say, anime related, was that I saw that there was a new trailer that came out for Shinichiro Watanabe's Lazarus.
Okay.
It's the creator of Cowboy Bebop and
Yes.
Samurai Champloo.
Okay.
So-
I'm super excited for that one. The
It looks cool.
yeah. Right on.
The story's interesting though.
He created Samurai Champloo too, right?
Yeah.
The dude can't miss. He don't miss, man.
I started watching Cowboy Bebop.
Yep.
Literally first episode.
So
It's
good.
Oh, really?
It's all right.
So
Yeah, it's
good.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so grounded, man. Nobody. They use regular guns. They used hand-to-hand combat. And it's really grounded. Real world issues that people go through. Like, spoilers, right? But Jet has to go back, and he's back to where he's from, and a girl that he really likes, is
I love that episode.
in cahoots with a drug dealer. So it's really grounded stuff. It's compelling, really compelling. I really like it. Cowboy Bebop is
So it's
one
like
of the
27
best
episodes, I
animes.
think.
26, I think,
Right
and a
on.
movie. But man, Fox, you just touched on one of my favorite episodes, because Jet is my favorite character
Yeah.
in that show.
Just awesome.
Jet is awesome.
Yeah, heck yeah. He's the father figure. He's the one that's keeping everyone. And I love how Jet is like, he doesn't like his feelings to show. Like, remember when Spike, he was about to leave for the final showdown, and he was like, being all stoic and stuff like that, even though he
He's a big
really-
softie.
Yeah.
That's why he's great.
Yeah. I loved it. Jet is awesome. Spike is obviously my favorite. Ed is my second favorite because she is freaking wild. She's so wild, dude. She's great.
For me, it goes Jet, Spike.
Mhm.
Why am I forgetting her name?
Faye.
I'm just gonna call her Lady. Oh, Faye.
Yeah.
And then Ayn. I love the dog. And then Ed. I don't really care for Ed.
Oh, right on. She feels like ADHD incarnate to me. You know what I mean? It's
No, that's
really
me.
nuts. And he reminds me of the mushroom episode when they didn't have any food, so they were just eating mushrooms, and everyone got high as a freaking kite. It was great.
Yeah.
So awesome. Oh my god, that show. All right.
Really?
Okay, we're getting back on
Get
topic.
off the door. Count.
All right,
Sorry, guys.
back on topic.
Merlin jumps from the floor to the top of the door.
Yeah.
Damn it, Merlin.
Damn it, Merlin.
So
It doesn't sound good in the British accent, that. Damn it, Merlin. No.
what?
Bollocks.
Oh, everything does.
So
Such a.
back on topic.
Okay, let's continue.
Right. So
Squirrel.
so PlayStation, they have been caught on Steam updating their dead game Concord. So it's leading people to believe that it is going to be resurrected in some shape, form, or fashion. Let's get into it. This is coming from PC Gamer. This is being pinned by Andy Chalk. Sony's failed shooter Concord has been updated dozens of times on Steam in October, and I'm starting to feel a comeback. So, Concord was decidedly not great. It's okay. So not great that Sony took the virtually unprecedented step of pulling the plug on the whole thing just a couple of weeks after launch. Sony said at the time it wanted to explore options to better reach our players, leaving open the possibility that some sort of comeback, maybe as a free-to-play game, might be in the cards. The opinion's killing me on this. Concord was taken offline on September 6th, but a large number of updates have been applied to the game on Steam over the past 2 weeks. Visible on SteamDB, the updates began on September 30th and continued with reasonable regularity at a pace of half a dozen or so per day until October 10th, which is crazy. So, knowing this. Oh, questions. So, what prompted the decision to update Concord on Steam, and what changes can players expect in the new version that they may or may not be bringing back? How do you think the gaming community will react to Concord's potential comeback after its initial failure? And lastly, what lessons do you think PlayStation has learned from Concord's initial release, and how are they applying them to this update?
I'm finding it hard to care.
As far as lessons learned, Fox, come on.
Yeah.
Like they care. The people that learn something and have a good idea on how to fix it are probably being like, they're being told, go back to your cubicle.
Well, I just on that note, Firewalk was kind of like, PlayStation got there when they were already just like, oh yeah, this is great. This is a great idea. Let's build this game. And PlayStation's like, Herman Hulst of all people was like, oh, this is a great game. One of their two presidents right now, or CEOs, is not looking good, especially for Herman, in my opinion.
I think it's smart to do like updates on Steam because you get the players that can mod and stuff like that. And honestly, like a lot of the PCers they get pretty hardcore with stuff, and it generates, like, for me, like I'll be like, man, when's this coming to PlayStation or something like that? You know what I mean?
You can get a real idea of what the temperament is for the game just by
exactly.
Right, yeah.
And like, you can see like if someone decides to like create a mod or something like that. It's not like PlayStation isn't paying attention to that stuff.
Yeah, I know, right?
And it's kind of smart to do like quiet updates on Steam and see what people are doing and what they're coming up with, and seeing if you can kind of resurrect it, because like it could end up being one of those cult games that is really popular, like if they do it right, know.
Do you see that happening?
Honestly, I think the issue is like they're like we keep going back to, they're taking too much time and too much money.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
And they're not delivering because they're not listening to the fans.
Right.
Or their devs that are trying to be like, listen, stop taking this, quarter of a game and then selling it as a DLC later. You're ticking gamers off.
That right. Yeah. Well, Ubisoft, which I will get to, but Ubisoft is notorious for that. As far as in this particular situation, I haven't seen PlayStation do that. I would be talking specifically to the game devs and Firewalk Studios, because they're the ones that kind of poop this out, and PlayStation was the one that kind of brought it to the masses.
Well, I mean, it could end up going like Cyberpunk did.
Like, I doubt it. I don't think so.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's a chance games can do that, because like it was a total flop. It pissed people off.
Right.
They ended up taking
it had
it away
really
and
good
then
bones
fixing
though. Really good bones.
It did.
There's
It
a
was the
non-zero
technical
chance.
issues.
It did.
Yeah.
There's a non-zero chance that this could turn into another Cyberpunk.
I doubt
Sure.
that it will.
Yeah.
I know that, but I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt.
Right.
I'm just trying to
anything
get
can happen for sure.
hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Nos.
Oh, yeah.
So my little
He's the contrarian. He's got it.
my little El Diablo, just calm down for a moment, okay?
Speaking of little El Diablo, I saw what's his name from Game of Thrones? He was on Hot Ones the other day.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Tyrion.
Who,
Peter
Tyrion?
Yeah.
Tyrion Lannister?
I want to say yes. The little guy.
Peter
Yeah.
Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage. He was freaking fantastic on there.
My brother.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
My brother
he's
and I.
great.
Okay, I love Peter Dinklage,
Mm-hmm.
but I can never hear the Game of Thrones theme song without hearing my brother go, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage. And I'm like, so ever since he's done that, like that's all I hear every time I hear
His
the
voice
freaking
is a
theme song.
marvel too. It's something that should be added into the archives of history. It is that good. Along
I
with
love,
Knossig,
I
of
love
course.
him so much. Like
great.
he's one of my favorites.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You guys are all much bigger Peter Dinklage fans than I am.
I think he's a
Significantly
You don't
more.
like?
I think he's fine.
Oh,
Well,
He's
according to
fine. He's-
Beerus, he and I are the same height, so
oh no.
Oh
think-
no.
I think he's a freaking fantastic actor. I love. He reminds me of like the Juilliard type actors. You know what I mean?
right? Like
He-
every
he
time you
kinda-
think a role wouldn't be for him, he blows it out of the water
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. Same.
Um,
Yeah.
So, I mean, our bitter little El Diablo doesn't like him very much.
I didn't say I didn't like him. I thought
He's
I-
all backpedal.
No.
I
no,
think
no, no.
he's okay. If I'm gonna,
He said it
I
was
think
fine.
he's serviceable
Yeah.
as an actor.
I
I,
like
don't
him.
think he's anything to write home about. Personally, that's just how I feel.
We're
about
gonna
it.
get into like what? Who?
I
Okay.
just
I need to know now.
end up enjoying
You know
the roles that
It's
he
not
ends
an idea.
up being in.
Who do
Like,
you think
it's
is
just
an actor to write home about?
Well,
Helen
the first one
Mirren.
that came to mind in it was just because I watched Pirate Radio last weekend. Is Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest in
Okay.
peace.
Okay.
That guy is sensational,
Okay.
a sensational actor. But yeah, that's the first one that comes to mind.
Right on.
You know who my favorite sensational voice actor is?
Who?
Nos.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with
Me
that.
too.
Did you tell me
Big
to shut
agree.
up?
I
You
Wow.
know.
Wow. I thought people from Canada were supposed to be nice, eh?
Well, that's what we've got the rest of the world fooled. Believe me.
I'm not your
I blame all
buddy
of these
guy.
American influences, honestly.
You're right on. We're a bad influence on you, Nas.
We are.
But I had an idea with all this discussion about Mr. Dinklage.
Hmm.
That one fun thing that we could do is just name an actor. Just throw a name out there. We
Mhm.
all talk about how we feel about them. Because Peter Dinklage was one of those ones where we had very, very different opinions.
Mhm.
My opinion's different from everybody else's, but you could do that with pretty much anything, any
Ye-
actor, game, movie, whatever. Just discuss that for a little while.
Right
True.
on.
Yeah.
I will. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we're gonna do that, but it's like I had no plans.
Probably not today. We already hit our one today.
Right on. Okay. All right. So, what do
I
we
don't know.
think about Concord coming back? If they do bring it back, what changes can they make to make it viable? Because this is not a viable game at this point. So, I don't know if
I
free
think it
to
would
play.
take some work.
Yeah. I think the idea is just way too old. The live service, gamers are already into the live service. They're going to be into. It's kind of like getting another job. You just pour all your time and effort into that one live service, and you don't really venture out into other ones. So I think the idea is just old, for one, and two, the character designs aren't great. I don't think free to play would save this. To me, it just you just need to scrap it and move on. And maybe look into Firewalk and see if maybe you should keep them around or not. Kind of cut ties and let them be independent again. Because that was a real
Probably
stinker that they put on everybody.
I'd probably let
It's
them
like
be
they pooped
independent.
right into PlayStation's hand, and then they just kind of handed it to everybody else. It wasn't great.
I think they're trying to make like a cult following on Steam, which is the only way they'd recoup some of their money.
I don't think it will recoup any of its
can't
budget.
see how it can.
whatsoever.
I mean,
I think it could get $20.
What was the main reason and why it was pulled? I know obviously the service online wasn't great, but what else?
Because
nobody was playing it.
Yeah.
It absorbed hard.
Right.
Yeah. I think they only had like hundreds of peak players when it released.
And
So
the world's a big place, and 100 people.
yeah, no kidding. It didn't even hit indie numbers. There were indies that came out and went around the same time who had better concurrent player counts.
Yeah, it had an all-time.
It might have had like 1,700. I want to say 1,000.
What was that?
What was the peak?
That's so funny. It had to hurt like 100 players. That's
No,
all.
I know.
it
when
was
you think about it, the world's a big
budget.
place,
Yeah.
and you got 100 people. Like
the
I've
peak.
almost got
Or
more
what, over
subscribers.
7 billion.
You guys are. I think you guys
I'm
are
on
mixing it
50.
up. I think you guys are mixing it up with Dustborn because
Oh.
those two games came out. They came out at the same time, had the same kind of completely flat reception. And in my mind, I have a hard time separating Concord from Dustborn
Yeah.
because they all they look alike
They
too.
feel the
just
same, yeah.
Key art, right?
Yep.
But Concord had an all-time peak of 697 players for a live service shooter.
Oof.
That does
I
not
mean, you
go
know,
well with
The only,
matchmaking.
That hurts.
the only thing I would say,
Mhm.
is remember when we spoke about this before, there was an article and someone said that PlayStation are not supporting this game. I just want
Yes,
to
I
say,
remember.
well, at
Yeah,
least
Bryce
they're
Bryce
trying.
Big.
At
Or
least
worse,
they're
yeah.
trying. I mean, like if it seems like they're cooking something of these updates on Steam, that to me shows me at least they're trying to do something. So that pushes back on.
And I mean, they gave him
I
like
can't remember who it was.
$200 million.
I mean, if
Yeah,
you're
I
gonna
can't
say
remember who it was.
something, if you're gonna say
Yeah.
something like that, Sony's not supporting this product.
Yeah, that was just unreal. I couldn't believe
Prove
that.
it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Where's your proof?
It's like, what did you want them to do? Just keep the servers open for them to just hemorrhage money? Get
Yeah.
out of here. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm
Sony
not even a
needs to do
Sony
this for
exec, and I
the-
wouldn't do that.
For
Go
the
ahead.
sub 700 customers, like you're talking out of your ass. Shut up.
It was a
Get 'em.
ridiculous
We
take.
need to. I can't remember who wrote that tweet. I remember Fox showed us. And
Yeah.
I think we were saying the
We
same
talked
thing.
about
We're
it on
like,
stream.
wait,
Remember that?
Yeah, we're like, how are Sony not supporting this?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, they gave it the best
Publishing
chance
it.
it was ever gonna
Sony gives
get.
it its all.
They bought the
Yeah.
studio.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bought the
They are
studio.
publishing it.
Yep.
Please explain how they're not supporting this product.
Gave him hundreds of
and just
millions
letting
of
it go out
dollars.
there to die. The marketing for it was, I mean, I was seeing ads for it
it's-
everywhere.
yeah.
How is Sony not? You're full of it.
Yeah. You- It's one of those. It's
Because
one of
they
those.
pulled the game. How dare they?
It's the mentality that you should buy it just because the devs worked super duper hard on it.
I don't agree with
It's
that.
one. It's
No.
that's
Oh,
the mentality.
that reminds me of our matey last week. Who was it?
Stevie,
the director of
Chesser.
monetization.
Yes, Stevie or Stevie. I can't remember.
You need to buy this game. You
Yeah.
need to buy
People
it.
work super
Don't
duper hard on
criticize
it,
it.
you guys.
Why are you happy that we're failing? Because you're not listening to us. and
Not
we're getting angry.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You get what you
I
got-
freaking
that
deserve.
titled-
I still haven't seen that
I
movie.
always
titled
put-
mentality.
There's always a little caveat that I put to that. Like, no, you shouldn't want a company to fail.
Right.
And I don't. I
Mhm.
don't want to come. I would love to see Ubisoft go back to making the games that I love, but
Same.
at the point where you're making games that nobody seems to want, or the vast majority of your previous customers, don't seem to want,
Mhm.
and you're not listening,
Mhm.
failure is inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't.
Not right.
I don't agree with celebrating it,
Right.
but if you're not listening and you keep trying to do the same thing and you're not taking any accountability, you deserve to
Mhm.
fail, and people are going to enjoy watching that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Schadenfreude. It's
Mhm. It's a real thing.
natural. It's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the only
100%.
way they're going to change, right? If you don't support the products,
Mhm.
they should see it as right. We're not doing something right.
Exactly.
What we're doing wrong.
It's
Let's
the
learn these
gamers that are
lessons.
wrong.
That's the
And-
problem, Scotty.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't have that conversation. They don't say, "What are
Yeah.
we doing wrong?"
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That sounds up. But on that note, let's move on to our other one. I want to say this is. Oh, I have it written down. Oh yeah, the EU decision to side with modders instead of big corporations. Let's go into that. Oh, he is having the worst time right now. So this is coming from Euronews. This is by people, apparently. EU court upholds right to sell PlayStation add-ons and loss for Sony. So that sell part, I didn't even know about that, but
Oh, about the third party stuff.
so the
Yeah.
third-party add-ons for Sony PlayStation games that offer players extra options don't breach EU copyright law, the European Court of Justice has said. So I'm gonna go to this quote here. The
Yeah,
directive.
the headline. Yeah, the headline is a little misleading because they're not actually PlayStation branded add-ons.
Oh, they're
Anyway.
third parties. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Fox.
Oh, you're totally fine. So the directive on the legal protection of computer programs does not allow the holder of that protection to prohibit the marketing by a third party of software which merely changes variables transferred temporarily to working memory. To working memory, judges said in a statement. The directive protects only the intellectual creation as it is reflected in the text of the computer program's source code and object code, they added. Detel, based in the UK, sold software that let gamers get infinite boosts in racing game Motor Storm and control the console using a motion sensor, which is really dope. Judges in Luxembourg were asked if that infringed 2009 EU laws on game copyright, given that in principle, Detel's add-ons don't alter source code, but merely change variables running in the working memory. Sony had argued that Detel's software latches on like a parasite to the PlayStation game. The wording on that, despicable. But in a non-binding opinion prepared for the EU court in April, Advocate General
Maciej. I know how to say the first name. I don't know how to say the last name.
Maciej
Spunar?
said that
Yeah,
said there was nothing illegal about using a copyrighted work contrary to the creator's intentions. And this is a quote from him: the author of a detective novel cannot prevent the reader from skipping to the end of the novel to find out who the killer is, even if that would spoil the pleasure of reading and ruining the author's efforts to maintain suspense, said Spunar, who also cited against Sony, I would say. So for this one, so what impact do you think the EU's decision not to crack down on modding will have on the gaming industry as a whole? How do you believe the ruling will influence the relationship between gaming developers and the modding community? And what potential benefits and challenges do you foresee arising from the EU's lenient approach to the modding?
I don't think this is really going to change anything.
You will, yeah. So I think what it gives modders some form of power, because you look at Nintendo, they sue people into oblivion for stuff like that. But it feels like in the EU at least, they don't have that kind of standing, which is good, especially if you're not changing it, reselling it as your brand and then giving it to people. You're just selling mods that people can use in their game. You know what I mean? I think that's really cool, and it emboldens the modder community, which they're in a kind of a
it gives them a framework to understand what is acceptable and what's not.
That too,
in terms of the law. So that would be really helpful. You don't have to worry about violating the law in some gray area.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah.
Has Sony signed up on it?
What's that?
What?
Sorry, Gigi. No, I was going to say, have Sony signed off on this? Like, are Sony okay with the modding? Or
I think they were against it. I want to say this was
because if it's a third party. Sorry, go on, Gigi.
I was gonna say, I'm sure they were against it because even like third party controllers with PlayStation 4, they were basically breaking them, and so I mean, I would. But as far as modding goes, as long as it's not a mod that takes the entire game and redoes it or does their version of the game and they're selling a full game, I think it's fine. If you're just making a package like they do with the mods on PC, I think that's fine, that they should be able to sell that within reason. I think there should obviously be some rules put into place, so it's not so broad as this seems, which I'm sure they are. But I don't think that people should get sued because I can buy a mod that gives me infinite lives in Super Mario World.
Right.
Well, I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything in here about selling the mod. I think it's just something that someone created for it
I
because
just gave it.
Yeah, but they'll be selling soon, I'm
I think like I think there's a line in here. Sorry, Fox.
Just real quick. So this Detail company, it sold software.
Oh,
that
sold
let gamers
software.
get infinite
My
boost.
bad.
Yeah. So they did.
I think,
But again, they're not changing any source code from the actual game. They're just giving like making Mario's head the size, huge. I don't think you should be penalized for that. I think it's hilarious. It's a hilarious mod, and if you want to use it, you should be able to use it, and not get sued into oblivion by Nintendo. So I think the EU is proper, or the UK. I think they're proper with this one. What were you gonna say, Scotty? Sorry.
No, you literally said what I was going to say. Because the sentence there, source code.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, because third-party tools, not that I know of, typically they don't interfere with the source code because it's an add-on,
right?
It really shouldn't.
Yeah.
I think if it starts to interfere with the source code, then I think there's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because the game you've now purchased has been corrupted.
Yeah.
And there's probably like a warning or something which says, look, if you download this add-on, this is the knock-on effects. So it's covering all bases.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't get mods and stuff like that. So
the only changes I would make to this is follow the law, as far as like if there's explicit content for this E for Everyone game, probably shouldn't have that mod because this stuff is going to be exposed to kids. So I guess as long as you're following the law, but also I guess you have some rails on there, some what do you call those, guide rails that I know I'm backtracking now, but have some guide rails on there where it doesn't interfere with the reputation of the company, right? So if like I at least that's me, just thinking about it right now. But yeah, what were you gonna say, Nas?
I think the assumption with any sort of mods is you take it into your own hands, right? You assume the risk if there's anything going to happen to it. That's either going to affect your game, your save files, or anything like that on your system. But mods, I don't understand why these companies sometimes are against mods. They're made by people that are passionate about your game and they want to play it, they want to love it more, or they want to add to this world that they love so much. I think that's a sign that you have a healthy gaming ecosystem if people are wanting to make mods for your games. Why are these companies afraid of it?
It might be reputational damage. It could be
pride. It could be
that too.
We didn't think of that. We didn't do that. Someone else did it. We don't like that. Nah. Maybe.
It's like we can't monetize it now.
Maybe
that's something.
I mean, there have been some cases where mods have made such a big wave in a positive way for a game that the studio will then hire those people.
Oh yeah.
And look at games like, I keep going back to this example of Bethesda, for example.
Yes.
Oblivion, Morrowind, Skyrim, all of the Elder Scrolls games wouldn't have the life that they do if it wasn't for mods. The games just, I love Oblivion, I love Morrowind. Skyrim was but the mods elevated that game to the point where I still install Skyrim every once in a while. I won't play it without mods, but I'm still playing this how old game? 13-year-old now? Or something like that?
It's what it was the early 2000s, not early 2000s, but 2010s. I want to say like 2012,
I
13,
think it was
something like
2011. I want to say, and Fallout too, same thing. I won't play that game without mods, but I'll still play the game. I'll still install Fallout 3 or Fallout 4 or New Vegas every once in a while and play it with mods because it's a fun core game, but the mods just elevate it.
My goodness.
Is it like the equivalent of like having? Do you remember back in the day you used to get those booklets and it had cheat codes in there? And like GTA typically, and you put in like a cheat code, you get an unlimited amount of money, unlimited ammo. Would you say like that's like modding, but just back then?
I don't know. To me, it's like you have like a car. You got a Ford. Let's say Ford Focus, for example, and I want to put a spoiler on it because I love my car. I just want it to elevate it a little bit more. I want to put racing stripes on it. I want to put an exhaust. I want to put a body kit on it. I'm modifying the car, not with Ford actual parts, but I want to get as much out of this as I can because I love it so much.
That's so crazy. You should have been on this
That's a good
ruling
remedy.
in the EU, Nos, because that's a better
Yeah, that's a
example than
That's quite good.
reading a book.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of like the example that they did use
No, I
of
like that one
the
better.
detective novel.
Yeah. I like that one better because it gives a better picture of what we're talking about. In this book, you're not
'cause it's still
modding
forward.
anything, but with the
Yeah.
the car example, you can picture that. It's painting a beautiful picture, or a vivid one at least, of what exactly goes into it. The source code is still there. You're just adding on to the stuff that's already there. You know what I mean?
You're building upon it, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, great example. Daggone Nas knocked it out of the freaking park again. Jeez.
Well, thank you.
Doesn't he always?
He does. Yeah.
Okay.
That he does.
Don't stop it. You let Beerus embarrass the heck out of me, Nas. I no.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's Ubisoft.
With his voice actor voice.
Anyway, moving on.
Just my regular voice.
Yeah, his voice actor voice. So this is coming from Rock Paper Shotgun, Nick Rubin. So we talked about this last week, but last week they were just talking about going on strike. They had actually done it. So this is, they're in the fray. They're in it now. They are actually striking. So yes, and it's in response to the return to the office order or mandate that Ubisoft has put on everyone.
Wow.
And you guys
Can't
changed
wait
my
for
mind
that.
on that. I was like, well, my hot take was, get back to work. But the way that you guys explained it, and I read it was a study done that, like you were saying, GG, is like a hybrid is just as effective as being in the office full time, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
they could totally go with that structure, but it looks like let's get into it, and then we'll see what they're actually talking about. So back in September, open world publisher Ubisoft put out a 3 days weekly return to office mandate for their entire staff worldwide, a decision that French Video Game Workers Union said was made without any tangible justification or any consultation with the workers' representatives. In response, the STJV called on staff in France to hold a 3-day strike beginning yesterday, which the union reports to be underway with the participation of more than 700 workers. Goodness gracious. This decision is announced immediately after the failure of the profit-sharing negotiations. STJV wrote at the time, exactly like previous salary negotiate. I don't think they spelled that right. This is C instead of negotiations.
It's translated.
Jeez.
Oh, typo, I think.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Proposals were unacceptable. The negotiations assignable was appalling, and management was deaf to the proposals of the various employee representatives. So it looks like it's just more than the RTO. After more than 5 years of working efficiently, in the current remote work context, many of our colleagues have built or rebuilt their lives, family life, housing, parenthood, etc., and simply cannot return to the previous working conditions, the union wrote. Our employer knows this perfectly well. The consequences of its decision will be the loss of our colleagues' jobs, the disorganization of many game projects, and the drastic increase in psychosocial risk for those who remain.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yes.
The consequences of loss of colleagues' jobs. That is the plan.
100%, because they have to downsize. They just don't have the money to support, as big as they are right now. But questions: how might these strikes impact Ubisoft's operations and its ability to meet upcoming project deadlines? We know they have those 10 Assassin's Creed games in the chamber right now. And what
Drastically?
And what steps can Ubisoft take to address employees' grievances and potentially resolve the strike situation?
Negotiate with them.
Yeah, but
it's
like we said, the
in good faith, I should say.
And we know that's not going to happen because it feels like that's the plan. The plan is to have people walk away.
Soft layoffs. That's what's a lot of companies have been doing, which is, okay, you guys have been enjoying working from home. That's all well and good. Now you got to come back into the office. Oh, you don't want to? Well, you have to.
Okay, so I just read this article the other day. Apparently, this is a Japanese culture thing where if they want to get rid of you, they can't outright do it. So they just put you in a room and give you nothing to do until you eventually quit.
You talking about Bandai?
Yeah, Bandai Namco.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, what? Is that what they're doing? No way.
Yeah, I think like 200 employees or something like that.
That's
they're
crazy.
trying to get rid of, but they're trying to do it in such a way that those people want
don't get paid off.
Yeah.
to do.
Like,
Yeah.
right.
And so which is so funny because they had such a good week with the release of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, you know? It had such a great it sold like 3 million units in 24 hours.
I saw that.
It's freaking crazy, dude.
That's good for this day and age.
Oh, heck
Very
yeah.
good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
3 million 24 hours. You usually see like 10 million in like a
week or something.
Yeah. It's like because I want to say God of War is sold like what 15 million in its lifetime. You know what I mean? Which has probably gone up since it's gone to Steam or PC. But and another grievance with them is the PSN, which they really need to get rid of. That's how we know they're not listening to customers. Anyway, yes, sorry.
Sorry, for Bandai though, there was also Tekken 8, which had a lot of negative attention around it, and then this game that just came out,
the super monetization was so
Unknown 9.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Which
I need to talk about that one because that.
What's that one?
Unknown 9, right? So
okay.
what's really burns me up about this is because the pictures that have come out, and it's the what's her name, Anya Chalotra,
Yennefer from the Witcher series,
right? Yes, the live action. They turned her into a troll when she is like one of the most beautiful women walking God's green earth right now. So I don't know how in the world they did that. How? So
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like,
they took
it.
Yeah, and she's a beautiful woman, and I don't know why you would. I just don't understand why you would do that.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense.
Me
I'm not
either.
because I know there are some people who are like, oh, you get mad any single time they change a female's appearance or whatever. I'm like, well, no, I don't get mad necessarily. I just don't understand why you would. She's a known commodity, and people know who she is. You want her on your box art. You want her appearance in game because people know who she is.
Right.
People like her.
Yep.
Why would you change how she looks? It's just she's almost unrecognizable in certain cutscenes in the game.
Baffles the mind.
I just don't get it.
My gosh. And I remember when they first started, and she had the hump and everything like that, and it was like, dude, put that on the front of your box. That's even better than what you put on there in the first place. You know what I mean? It's like you
humpback Yennefer.
Yes. It's a better representation of what they put on the front of it. You know, what they actually came out with.
I couldn't stand that show. I'm sorry if you guys like that show. I hated The Witcher.
I like the first season.
The games. I just
Witcher. Is that with Henry
Cavill?
Cavill, yeah.
Yeah.
And she actually stood up next to him. You know, when the controversy was, you know, oh, he's too much of a what do you call him? What do you call it? A super fan. He's a super fan of The Witcher, and him and
oh no,
what's her name? I know, right? They were butting heads on lore or whatever. And she stood beside Henry Cavill when they were going through that controversy. So she gets high marks from me on that. Because I want to say they tried to get Henry Cavill in a gotcha. You know, there was like, so, you know, what do you say to the fans or because they use toxic fans, I think, to the ones who, you know, denigrate how The Witcher's being told or whatever. He was like, I wouldn't call them toxic fans. They're really passionate about, you know, seeing what they love on screen. You know what I mean? So he's a good guy. Henry Cavill he's all around. Good thing his girlfriend's got him. I'd have scooped him up if I ever met him.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's my real life Leon. Furious.
Right on.
Fast with Henry Cavill.
I watched a little bit of the playthrough for Unknown 9, and I was not impressed. Like, just visually, graphically, it just looks like something from PlayStation 3 era.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
And it looked ugly. I'm not talking like the characters. I'm talking like the actual gameplay itself looked janky and bad.
Yeah.
It's got like mostly negative reviews on Steam right now,
Hmm.
and a lot of the people that are playing the game got it for free with AMD graphics cards. So you're giving people a free game and they're still reviewing it negatively.
Oh,
That's not a good look.
Oh, you think you have some goodwill from doing that? Is like, because you think the idea of it is, if I get you this for free, like you want
you'll be
to,
ingratiated.
right? You
Yeah.
want to give it a positive review. It's like, and even still, they're not. That's
PC gamers are just like, no, this is crap. I don't care if it's crap.
Honesty is the best policy, man.
Yeah, 100%.
It really is. Really
Yeah.
is, because that's part of the feedback loop. That goes that should
Exactly.
go
How
back
you
to the
gonna-
developers, and
How
developers
you gonna
fix it.
improve?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Real quick, just any last words on this? So, what do you think? What can
I've
Ubisoft
got a
do
few
about it?
words.
Yeah.
I'll let Nas go first.
Okay.
No, you go ahead, Scotty, because I have a question I want to ask everybody, but you go ahead
Okay.
first.
It's because I watched the episode of you guys. You were talking about working from home as well,
Mhm,
and I wasn't
mhm.
on, and I was like, damn, I wish I was on. So
Right
now
on,
this is
yeah.
here. I'll speak about it. Thing is,
Nice. Yes.
if the job gets done, the job gets done.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you are in the world.
Mhm,
If that's the deadline for the work, that's the deadline for the work.
Mhm, mhm.
From what I've experienced, because it's happened here with previous companies I've worked for, because they have an agreement with the landlord for the building, they
Oh.
need to pay the rent.
Yeah.
If people aren't going into work and working from home, they're paying for an empty office.
Yeah.
And I think pride kicks in, because it's like, well, we're paying for a
Mhm.
floor.
Mhm.
No one's going on that floor. You're going into the office.
Yeah.
But it's a bit like, well, you kind of get it from their side, because if they're employees and they have a contract and it says you've got to be in the office, you've got to be in the office, I
Right, right.
guess.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, if you can get the job done at home, office space, or wherever in the world,
Mhm.
if it gets done, it gets done.
yeah.
I
That's
think
what I think.
I think you should reward the ones that can get it done with that, but the ones who
Yes.
are not, keeping up with what they're supposed to be doing at home, they should go back to the office. Like, if your productivity is low when you're working from home,
Yeah,
you gotta
exactly.
go
Yeah.
back to the office.
No,
But
yeah,
if-
you've got to do your job.
yeah, but if your productivity hasn't changed or is higher when you're at home, oh yeah, that's, let them stay home.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's someone you don't want to, upset. You don't want to rock the boat with those guys, because they're giving you the production that you want, and you do something like this, that production could go down, morale could go down.
Even from your top performing employees, because this is affecting them as well.
yes, that's yeah.
It's a better life, isn't it? Like, as well, because you get to do things at home that you wouldn't be able. You have to wait till the weekend to do. But if
100%.
you've got a lunch break, on your lunch break, you can wash the clothes, you can cook, you can
Yes.
do this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a better lifestyle.
Yeah,
I
100%.
think personally,
Oh yeah.
but
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know.
Now I had a question for you guys.
Yes.
Let's just forget that we're talking about Ubisoft here
Yes.
and their games and their history and all that. Just imagine this is a faceless company whose games you enjoy.
Mhm.
Does how a company treat its employees affect how you feel about their games?
Yes.
Past, present, and future.
100%. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
To what end? Like, well, each of you, I'd like to hear answers from each of you, if possible.
You know what?
So who wants to go first?
Just because, like, the crunch was really, really bad with a lot of these studios, and you got a lot of the grievances from the developers and things like that, but people still went out and bought the games. So you know what? I'm not gonna have the holier than thou kind of, because I've bought games that have had crunch involved with them.
Mhm.
So I will say I still buy games that have like horrible work environments. Even when Ubisoft was going through their big harassment stuff, was still playing Assassin's Creed games and things like that. So I think you can do both. You can stand with the developers and things like that, and push for change. And a lot of that can come from the developers themselves, but encouraging them to stand up and maybe email their executives and things like that. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to sit on the fence on this one, just because
It isn't an easy question to answer, I know,
Yeah.
because a lot of times people, like, if I'm looking at a game, I'm not looking at Well, how were the developers treated?
Exactly.
Did they get like complimentary lunches? Did they get free coffee? You know,
Yeah, just like, do you have an iPhone?
a lot of times,
You know, because
yeah.
that the murky stuff behind how they're created too. You know,
Mhm.
so
A lot of it just doesn't come to light.
yeah, that
A
too.
lot of it we're just not aware of unless it's like a big deal. We're only aware of what's going on with Ubisoft and the strikes
Yes.
because of everything else that's going on with Ubisoft.
Yes, yeah.
We probably wouldn't have this much attention. We probably wouldn't be discussing it if
Mhm.
it wasn't for all of the badness that's been going on in Ubisoft land.
Yeah,
But,
they've just been pummeled. They're
Scotty,
getting pummeled.
DT?
Yeah. Sorry.
What do you guys think?
I don't know. It's a tough one, you know. I'll tell you why, because so there was. I won't go too into detail too much about it, but there was one thing I was gonna purchase, just like some stocks and stuff.
Mhm.
I did a bit of digging, and I saw how it was coffee beans, right?
Mhm.
And I read the history, read up on it, and I saw how the coffee beans are being produced, and it was basically modern day slavery. People getting paid pennies,
Mm.
and morally, I didn't buy any stock because I just couldn't support that.
Oh yeah.
A few years later, that stock went through the roof, but I didn't feel bad about it because I was like, you know what? I don't
Yeah.
care because morals and principle kicks in.
100%. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Every game and console I've purchased, I've not known something like this to happen. But if it did, I would probably have to second guess me buying it like that. I'd have to think, hold on, like what's actually happening here?
Yeah.
I absolutely
100%.
agree with
Yeah.
you, Scotty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think morals kick in, and it's a bit like, well, hold on, like, so because you know the money you purchase, the game you purchase with your money, that's going to obviously go towards the sales, which the devs probably won't get because it's going to go to the top first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Answer your question, Naz. Long story short, I probably wouldn't. I'll think about it,
Right on.
and I think I'll say no, I won't buy it. But I'll probably will YouTube it and watch the game walkthrough because I need to know what's going on, depending on what the game is. At least the YouTube is getting supported.
Fair enough.
Right on.
This wasn't a question that meant to have like any gotchas. I'm just curious how you guys think. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a really good
GG.
question. GG.
We think like that.
GG?
No, I mean I agree. Like if I feel like anything is like amiss and mistreating people, or like, you know, like I get horrified if I find out like later, like I've had this company that I love and they've got like, you know, all these kids like slaving away, or people like, you know, kind of like along the lines of Scotty, like I stopped eating cashews when I found out like how bad it was for the people that were like going and harvesting them and stuff. And it's just, you know, if something's bad, like if a company is immoral in some way, or they're using bad practices to bring me these consoles that I love so much or whatever, like I just can't, like,
Yeah.
I've got that bleeding heart going on, and I just, you know, we all know I don't really trust companies anyway. I'm kind of like Knossig.
We are nothing alike.
I'm like, there's gotta be a gotcha in here somewhere. Where's the fine print?
No.
like
Sometimes
it.
I just
That's a really good
like
question.
Well,
understanding.
we got to do full circle though. It's back to you, Naz.
Oh, me.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
If
Sorry,
I'm-
I didn't even think about that.
Well, I was this isn't part of the deal.
It's part of our deal. Well,
Honestly,
awesome.
there's a lot of things, because there's a lot of reasons why I may not buy a game that has nothing to do with the game itself. And because there's so many different options out there and there's so many different choices, if something stinks about how a game is developed, or the company behind it, or if someone's attacking fans, yeah, that's enough to be. And even if it has nothing to do with me, even if it's not a direct attack on gamers of my type, but if you're going to say like certain people are just, oh, they're toxic, or these gamers are so entitled, I'm out.
Yeah.
I have no patience for that. I care about how the product is created. And a lot of times I'm sure I've played games where maybe behind the scenes things have been a little bit nasty.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'm not aware of it. I don't know how I could be in some cases. So you have to just look at what information is available and make your judgment based on that.
Yeah,
That's just how I feel.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And that threshold is going to be different for everyone. The
Oh, yeah.
the mileage is going to
yeah.
vary with everyone. One thing might not be as egregious to one person as the other. So yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
never say
and,
that my standards are what everybody should go by. No.
Yeah. No,
My
no,
standards
that's
are
not
my
what I'm
standards for
saying.
a reason. But no.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
Mhm.
I don't judge other people's actions by my own standards.
Right.
I'm curious, like, that's why I ask. That's why I'm curious how people think, because then that gives me an idea of what conclusions they're going to come to, and then if what the conclusion is that they come to is inconsistent with what I've seen, then I have more questions.
Yeah.
No, I agree with Nas. Like, I'm not judgmental in life in the slightest.
Yeah.
So if people want to buy games, they can buy games. I'm not going to judge people for it.
Right.
But if you say I don't eat meat, and then you're gonna go mow down on a nice juicy burger, you're gonna have questions.
I mean,
That's a bit suspect.
Very, yeah, 100%. Oh my gosh.
that was fantastic. Shout out on some meat.
Everybody loves a good burger.
Oh no, wait, that reminds me of Scott
I
Pilgrim
do.
versus the World.
Mm.
When he's like he gets
the vegan,
the vegan police comes in and he's like reading him his like what he's done. He's like, you had
chicken parmesan.
He's like, chicken isn't vegan.
You know what? One thing I will
Such a
say.
great
right?
movie.
One
is
thing I
such a
will
great
say, there's no such thing as vegan chicken, vegan steak, X, Y, Z, right? It's just a steak. It's just chicken.
Oh well, they've got those Impossible burgers, Impossible meat, and stuff like that.
Nah, if it's not meat, it's not meat.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're trying to soften make it more appealing, to people. But
Probably.
I tried
yeah.
one. I tried up here we have, well, I think in the States you have them as well, but A&W had like their Impossible burgers.
I love A&W too.
And I tried one just out of curiosity.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
the texture was almost there, but the taste was there. The texture was like, it was a little bit, it was a little softer than a regular burger,
Yeah.
Right.
but
you
just
like it?
just a little bit.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, no, I did.
Yeah.
I did. It was a little bit more expensive, but I was just buying it out of curiosity anyway. It wasn't something that I was going to be a regular fan of. I'm not a vegan.
I'm not either, unless I go see, like, when I take my son to visit his grandparents. Grandpa had a heart attack like years ago and had to go vegan to lose a lot of weight, keep healthy, and I was just like, cool. So he shockingly feeds me some really good stuff that I was surprised is vegan. So
Yeah, like falafel. I love falafel.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
but like sometimes they'll feed me stuff and I'm like really shocked and I'm like, wait, this is what?
Yeah.
Chickpeas are good. I like it.
Oh man,
Oh, right on.
chicken.
core component of falafel actually.
I
Chickpeas.
want to. That's hilarious. I want to.
We were talking about food again.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's all good. I've got to make brunch soon, so I want to give Lord Beers a shout out. Thank you for showing up, bud. It's always good to see you. And I know that John DVZ, he's here with us in spirit. For the panel. Any final thoughts? I think you guys did freaking fantastic today. This is amazing. The absolute
Thanks, man.
like
Likewise,
thought
man.
that
It's easy when we got you to lead us, and
Yeah, man.
Oh, stop
Dottie
that.
and Nos
No.
are just
Mm-mm.
amazing. Shush.
you guys are
Take
amazing.
it.
That is true. All of you.
And then we've got Tensions Girl. Ken is missing today because she's at GameStop playing awesome music for an opening. And
Mhm.
hopefully we'll have some clips from that soon. Ken, hint,
Yeah.
hint.
Mm-hmm. Oh, final thoughts. I always feel like I'm caught off by this segment,
You should be. No, I'm
I've
just
been-
kidding.
but I still got something to say, Gigi.
Say it. Say
I've
it,
been
man.
noticing a lot of times lately, and I don't know if you guys have gotten this impression either, but it just feels like a lot of times lately I'm seeing articles that are talking about consumer expectations, gamers' expectations, moviegoers' expectations being too high.
Mhm.
And I don't agree with that at all. I hate when I see that.
I think that their expectations and delivery are too low.
I think that there's a change happening where people are starting to become a little bit more aware that a lot of the stuff that they've been being fed is not up to par. And we're starting to realize that we've reached our threshold for that. And maybe our expectations need to go back up a little bit so that we can get products that we enjoy without all of the negative practices that go along with it. It just seems like these are just cash cows, and just that in some cases. But I object to this idea that our expectations are what's out of whack. It's not.
Yeah. 100%. And just to kind of piggyback off that, I think they did a really good job of making the consumer feel powerless. Like, you know, if something happens to a company, is like, oh, they didn't go out of business, even if it's something super egregious, like with Ubisoft or Activision, you know, with how they were treating their employees. And it's like, nothing really happened, right? It's like they did have to pay out for a lawsuit. But I think nowadays we're seeing that our dollar does matter. You know, our opinions do matter, and we, you know, make that known through our purses and our wallets and things like that. So I think that it's kind of a revolution for the customer revolution, where we're taking our power back, and we are, you know, going to let these companies know, you know, you can try to force us to like whatever you want us to like. That doesn't mean we're going to, and we're going to show you with
you gotta earn our dollar again. And complaining about the expectations is not the way to do it.
Yeah.
I think it'll get better as well.
Trying to convince you.
Like, we've got obviously the click to cancel now, so that obviously helps. So hopefully it's heading in that direction now, where it's giving the customer power again. I think there's a lag. I think Fox is reacting quite late.
Oh, am I?
Might be on a lag. Yes.
Oh shoot.
I think you were for a second there.
Yeah.
Oh, am I now? Can you see me?
That's right. Close it out, Fox. Close it out. Close it out. Close it out.
Okay.
What do you want to notice?
Right on. All right. Well, I mean, shoot, man. Thank you guys. This was a, you know, freaking amazing Saturday. This is how I love spending my Saturdays anyway. You know, speaking with you about video games and entertainment, just entertainment in general is freaking dope.
Same.
You know. But I'll see you guys on the other side. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in this weekend.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
I was pretty tired, so I'm sorry, but I've really enjoyed.
Yeah,
man, go out there, play some fun ass games.
Shoot, I cut Nos off. I'm sorry, Nos. Sorry. But thank you everyone for joining us today during the live stream. I can hear you. But first and foremost, thank you to the panel. They were freaking fantastic today. Definitely go visit their socials, their channels. I know Nas does a lot on Twitch. Go ahead and visit him over on his Twitch. He does have YouTube videos too, which are amazing. Gigi, she does YouTube, really good. She's almost at 500. I was told in my ear. Just got it. But definitely go ahead and subscribe. And Scotty, really great videos. And he's actually done some really great, like Killer Instinct on his Twitch on YouTube. But he does really great like interview style videos. Go check him out. Really great. While you're down there, you can visit our whole gamut of videos, get caught up on those. But last but not least, thank you to everyone that joined in viewing. Big thanks to Beerus for joining the conversation. For those who didn't, we really appreciate you too, because without you, there'd be no reason to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and try to make an intro. You can catch us again next Saturday, same time. But until then, keep it casual. Peace.